Today's episode is about friction.
How can I hang onto this rope without falling?
Can we reduce it so we can slide around? I'm going towards the wall! Can we increase it so I can climb a wall?
Ha ha! I did it!
Can I use it to fly? Yup! Friction! Today on Science Max Experiments at Large.
Hey, Science Maximites, slippery. But that's okay, because today we're talking about friction. Friction is a force that is everywhere and happens when any one thing rubs against any other thing. We do lots of things to increase friction, like wear shoes with big treads on them. And we can do things to reduce friction, like the experiment we're doing today. We're gonna build a hover disc, and it's very easy. You take some cardboard and cut it into a circle, just like this. Then put a hole in the middle of the circle. You might want an adult to help you with that. And then take a plastic drink bottle cap, like this. I like use the ones that you get on sport bottles because they have a little nozzle that pops open or closed. And then you glue it around the circle and you get this. Then you need a balloon. So you blow up your balloon. I know you know that step. And then twist the balloon so it doesn't get away from you. When it's nice and twisted, you can stick it over the drink bottle cap like this, and then untwist it. And this is why I like to use the plastic drink bottle caps that come from sport bottles, because you can open it when you want. And when you do, your disc rides on a cushion of air, reducing the friction with the table, and it's almost like it's sliding on ice. You can also use CDs if you want to do a different design. Just make sure you're using CDs you never want to listen to again. Now, if any of this is too fast, don't worry. You can always go to the Science Max website, where we have all of the instructions. And now, it's time to max it out. We're going to see if we can make a human-sized, rideable, low-friction hover disc. I'm going to the Ontario Science Centre, where hopefully I have an expert that can help me. Door is stuck. I think there's a little bit too much friction with it. Oh, that's got it.
Oh no, this isn't the Science Center. Did I go back in time again?
Oh. It is the Science Center. Helena, hi.
Hey, Phil. You're here to see the hover disc.
Yes, please.
All right, come on, right this way.
So I made one in the lab that works pretty great. It's on cardboard and it has a balloon. The one you have here works on the same principle?
Yeah, it does. But you know what? My friend Russell has some ideas about making something like this, but even bigger.
Do you think we can make one big enough to ride?
Maybe, yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look at the one you have here. Oh, I see. Right, this one works the same as the one I made. It's really hard to move the disc, but if you add some air, it floats like a dream.
There we go.
Great, so let's ride it.
Whoa, Phil, not this one, the one upstairs. You can ride that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should we bring this one just in case?
No, it's a little heavy. I think we can leave it there.
What if we need it for reference?
No, I'm sure we'll be okay.
It is pretty heavy.
Yeah,
but...
come on, let's go. Russell's waiting.
Are you sure we won't need it?
I'm positive.
Okay, but if we have to come back, I get to say I told you so.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Ramona, you change your hair? Yeah, it's nice. It's like doing this now. Because but now it's, yeah, I like it. You should give me the name of your guy, because I wanted to, hey, oh, hey, how are you? You ever think to yourself, no matter what I do, I can't seem to get anywhere. I can't get enough traction? Well, you, my friend, need some more friction. Which one of these two shoes has more friction? Take a closer look. Huh? Right, bam. This one doesn't have a lot of treads. It doesn't have a lot of friction. But this one, it's got metal spikes on the bottom. This is called a cleat, and the spikes are for helping you grip onto the grass when you're playing soccer or golf, increasing its friction. Why do you think skis are smooth on the bottom? Come on, look at that. It's so smooth and glidey. My hand I can barely even touch the surface. It just slides right off. It's sort of glidey and smooth. They're smooth to help you glide across the snow, reducing their friction. Why doesn't this box slide down this ramp? Friction. This roller skate has wheels. Wheels reduce friction. But when I push the roller skate, how come it doesn't just keep rolling forever and ever and ever and ever? And going all the way around the world and writing a memoir. Say it with me. Friction. Louder. Friction. Can't hear you. Friction. A little too loud. Friction. Ease it back. Friction. How can I hang onto this rope without falling? Friction. How can I jump down on the floor without falling over? Friction. And now you know your friction. Your friction. Your friction. Come on. Uh-oh. Oh, Ramona, the friction sign is broken. Reset. Uh-oh.
The plan is to take our small hover disc and make one big enough to ride. So I'm off with Helena to another part of the Science Center to meet Russell, who has some ideas on how we can do it.
Oh, hey, Russell.
Hey, hi, Emma. Hey, Phil. How you doing, Russell?
How you doing, Phil?
So this is the hover disc.
This is our small hover disc, yes.
How does it work?
Well, obviously you sit on here,
Right.
Air will go into here. It gets vented through all these separate holes here, so we get an airflow over the entire area. Hopefully this will work to pick someone up. All we need is...
Air.
Oh, well, that's easy, because the small one worked like this, so we just put the balloon on, right?
I hope you got the part.
Okay, so we put the balloon on hold on. Larger balloon!
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh, twist it so it doesn't...
He's losing his air.
All right. On again.
You grab
Right.
one side, I'll grab the other.
Okay, here we go.
Go. It doesn't
Still way too much
It doesn't
friction
feel
on
like
No.
it still feels pretty frictiony. I think we might need something more than a balloon. So what do we do?
Well, I think we need more consistent air going through here.
Okay. So not a balloon.
Not a balloon, something, I don't know, opposite to a vacuum cleaner?
Opposite to a vacuum cleaner. That would be
Like a leaf blower.
Like a leaf blower.
a leaf blower.
Right?
High five.
Yeah.
Awesome idea.
Yeah, leaf
so
blower it is.
why don't we make a couple larger discs when we'll hook some leaf blowers to them and we'll see what happens.
Definitely give it a go.
Okay, great. Carbon is an atom and is the basic building block of all life as we know it. You, me, all plants, all animals are carbon-based life forms. Other things are made of carbon too. Diamonds are carbon, coal is carbon, even pencil lead isn't lead, it's graphite, which is carbon. If you were to take all the carbon atoms in your body, you could fill 9,000 pencils. Of course, kind of prefer my carbon where it is.
Our low-friction hover disc still had way too much friction. One of the problems that Russell mentioned is that the balloon just wasn't giving enough air. But then, Helena had the idea of using a leaf blower instead. The plan now is to make a leaf blower-powered disc by starting with a big circle of wood, cutting a hole in the wood where the air will come through, and then covering the bottom with a tarp that has many holes cut out of it for the air to escape. Because leaf blowers are made to push lots of air, hopefully there'll be enough for me to ride it.
Well, this is the business. Look at
That's
this.
amazing.
It's good, right?
Oh, yeah, I love the tube. You know, high volume of air through that.
So yeah, I think it's a dryer vent I just found it in the lab. And then this, of course, is leaf blower. So I get on here, and then Helena, if you want to turn it on.
Yeah.
So once we fire it up, the air coming out from the bottom of the disc raises me up, and I float on a cushion of air.
I can't control it!
Because the friction between the disc and the floor is so low, I end up floating wherever Helena and Russell push me.
I'm going towards the wall! worked amazing.
Not too much control, though.
I have no control whatsoever.
Yeah, no.
But this is great. So so we have the no friction
Yes.
down pat. I feel we need some way to actually move.
Well, something to push you along. I was thinking as you were going, like, you need like a broom or something.
A broom. Okay, yeah. What if we do like something low friction, like a broom, and something high friction, like that we could really sort of stick on the ground?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
works for me.
And then we could build 2 of them, and we would have 2 discs and 2 ways of moving them.
Are we gonna race?
And we can race! Yeah! Okay,
Yeah.
race. That's what we're gonna do. Here is an experiment you can do at home with friction. This is a toy boat. Yes, you guessed that right. And this is a wooden plank. Correct, that's 2 for 2. I put the boat on the ramp and watch what happens. Nothing! The reason why is because the friction between the boat and the ramp is enough to counteract the force of gravity trying to pull it down. But watch what happens if I raise the ramp to the right height, the boat slides down because the friction isn't enough and gravity pulls it down. But when we change surfaces to this carpet, let's see what happens. Same angle, I can raise it higher, 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 because there's more friction between the carpet and the boat than there was between the wood and the boat. Now, if you're thinking that we're just gonna do it with a small ramp, you're wrong. Because of course we're gonna max it out. Hey, Helena, this
Hey.
is amazing.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Wow,
Ready to climb it?
absolutely. Here we go.
Way to go.
Huh? No problem. So that was very easy.
Well, that's probably because the friction from your shoes is high enough so you don't slip.
Right, and the friction from my clothes is much lower, which is why I could slide down.
Right.
So how do we make it more difficult?
We'd probably have to make it higher.
All right, let's make it higher.
With the ramp at a steeper angle, I'll need more friction to climb up.
All right,
Ready?
I'm totally ready. Here I go. You try.
Okay, hold my intro. Here we go. Ooh.
Oh, so clearly we are not getting enough friction between our shoes and the ramp at this angle.
We should add some carpet, because carpet would add some more friction between our shoes and the ramp.
All right, let's add carpet. Sorry, here's your drill.
Thanks.
All right, carpet.
Yeah?
Same angle.
Yes.
And why have we done this?
More friction.
More friction. Let's give it a try.
Hey, way to go.
Totally able to climb the ramp. So, what do we do now to make it harder?
Make it higher.
Make it higher. Wow, it's really steep.
I don't think you're gonna make it.
Sure, if I take a really good run at it, I think I can do it.
I don't think so.
Well, there's one way to find out. No.
No.
Okay, so I can't do it. Is that it?
Well, how about Velcro,
Wow.
right? It'll give you more friction, so you can try climbing with this. We'll give you Velcro knee pads, Velcro shoes.
Velcro. Velcro handholds, Velcro knee pad, Velcro on my shoes, helmet for safety, Velcro fill, Velcro dance. Okay, you ready?
Ready?
All right, here we go. Ha-ha, I did it! Creating friction between me and this ramp means I can stay up here for as long as I... No. No, Velcro. No. No.
Phil, you okay?
Velcro! Friction! Your turn.
No.
Our hover disc worked well. So well that we decided to build another. If we have 2 hover discs, then we can race them using different kinds of friction to push them along. Something that has low friction, like a dust mop, and something that has higher friction, like a pole with rubber balls at the end. Rubber has great friction. That's why we make car tires and the treads of our shoes out of rubber.
Okay, we have a giant race course that we've set up. We've got 2 low-friction hover discs, and I'm gonna use the low-friction dust mop version to propel my hover disc. And Helena, what do you have?
I have the high-friction rubber ball stick.
Start your engines! On your marks, get set, and go!
And we're off. Remember, Helena and I are using very different methods to get our hover discs moving. I'm using a low-friction dust mop, and Helena is using high-friction rubber balls. As you can see, my low-friction dust mop doesn't make enough friction with the ground for me to push myself. Helena, on the other hand, is having no problems.
Go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Go ahead! You can beat him! He's way back!
Oh, bit further! Bit further! He's way back!
In for the win! It's the leader!
She crosses the
Yes!
And then we have our winner. Yes, over the finish line. It feels way back over there.
Oh, man.
I'm still stuck at the second turn. Way to go, Helena.
Thank
Nice.
you.
So what was the strategy? How did it work?
Well, pretty much while I was using those red balls, I was getting friction, helping me steer.
You know what? I think we need a little bit more thrust. That would work even better if we had something pushing us even harder.
Definitely.
Wait, I have an idea. Wait, hold. I need your help. Come on. I'm at iFly Toronto indoor skydiving to talk to you about friction. That's Mike. He's gonna help me out. Okay, here we go.
Unfortunately, we can't hear what Phil is saying because there's too much wind. It looks like he's trying to tell us something about the friction. Yes, he's saying the friction from the air rushing up in the chamber is enough to counteract the force of gravity, which is why he's able to float or swim or whatever he's doing. Now it looks like he might be saying even something like air can have a lot of friction if it's going fast enough. And the air in this chamber is going fast, which is why we can't hear a word he's saying. Oh well, he seems to be having fun. So how important is friction? Well, let's say I'm out for a drive. Car tires need friction to grip onto the road. Without it, my car wouldn't be able to turn at all. But that's nothing. Without friction, the bolts holding the wheels on the car wouldn't work. In fact, none of the bolts, screws, or glue on the car would work, and nothing would stop moving or stick to anything else. Even the trees would blow away with the slightest breeze. Friction is everywhere, and without it, nothing would work.
Okay, hover disc race round 2. This time we decided to have a little bit more thrust, so Helen and I are going to be using fire extinguishers. Now, do not use fire extinguishers at home. Fire extinguishers have a very important purpose, and it's not for this, but we got these ones special. Are you ready, Helena?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Russell?
So, racers, start your engines. And go!
Using fire extinguishers gives us a lot of thrust. But because the discs we're riding on don't have any friction, wherever we point ourselves, we just keep going in that direction, which makes steering very difficult. Cars grip onto the road and can go around corners thanks to the friction of their wheels. When you have no friction, it's kind of like moving on an ice rink.
Oh no! I'm out! Yeah! High five! Yeah! High five! Yeah! Yeah, wait.
Oh, I ran out of fire extinguisher at the end there, so I had to cheat a little bit. So 1 for you, 1 for me, and all of them for friction.
Or the lack of friction.
Or the lack of friction. Science Max, experiments at large. What do we do next? The larger fire extinguishers?
I think so.
Okay. See you next time. I know where we can get some, actually. We can go, if we go to the fire extinguisher store where we got these fire extinguishers, we can get like a...
This episode of Science Max is all about vibration and frequency. Frequency and vibration. What's the difference? We build a maxed out vibrobot, spin a giant disc, suspend water, and play with lasers. All on this episode of Science Max, Experiments at Large. Greetings, Science Maximites, and welcome to Science Max Experiments at Large. My name is Phil, and today on Science Max Experiments at Large, we're gonna be looking at vibration. Vibration is when things go back and forth, and back and forth. All kinds of things vibrate, like pendulums. Pendulums. Wait, and pendulum. Pendulums are designed to swing back and forth. Stop that. Also, metronomes. Metronomes are used by people when they're practicing music to keep accurate time. Yeah. Okay, putting it back. And okay. We're gonna be building. Whoa, okay. We're gonna be building this little guy. This is a vibrobot, and he vibrates and he skitters around on the paper. And if we take the caps off the markers, he makes interesting patterns on the paper. Okay, so let's get started. Let's build a vibrobot. Okay. Oh yeah, you know what? Maybe it's time to take off the ski boots, huh? Whew. There we go, that's better. So today, like I said, we're gonna be making a vibrobot. And here are all the materials you need to make your own. Plastic cup, 3 markers, an electric motor, just make sure you ask an adult first, a battery, a plastic drink bottle cap, a toothpick, scissors. This kind of tape is called electrical tape. Science tape, which is the same as invisible tape, but of course I use this tape only for science. And some modeling clay. And these are 2 bendy straws that I've taped googly eyes to. These are not necessary. I just like them for decoration. Now remember, if I'm going too fast here, which I probably will be, you can get all of the steps on how to make your very own vibrobot on our website. Okay, so here's how you get started. First, you're gonna make the feet for your vibrobot. So I attach some science tape to the markers, and then I put the marker on the bottom of the cup. And then I do that again to the next marker, and then the third, balance it like that. There. Next thing you wanna do is take your plastic drink bottle cap and make a hole with a toothpick. You wanna make it off to the side, right about there. Just like that. That's so when it turns, it will be off center. That's what's gonna give us our vibration. So once you've made that hole, take some modeling clay and stick it in the cap to give it some weight. When you've done that, stick it onto the shaft of your motor like this. See how it's off center there? Now we just need to attach it to the vibrobot. I just put it right here on the top, and I like to attach the battery to the back of the cup. And now, finally, we're going to attach the eyes. We take some science tape, and we put the straws over here. I am vibrobot. I am here to vibrate. Take me to your leader. So then, you attach your tape with the wire to the top of the battery there, and then the other wire to the bottom of the battery, just like that, and let your vibrobot make some art. Ha 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 ha. Now, if the battery is new, your vibrobot might be jumping up and down quite a bit. So you can do what I like to do and add some more weight, and then you make better lines with your vibrobot. And your vibrobot makes art. How long will he last? Probably till lunch. And there you go, vibrobot art. Art made by a robot. How cool is that? So that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna meet Chris from Logix Academy, and he's gonna help me max out the vibrobot. Plus, we're gonna learn a little bit more about vibration. Come on. Oh, hey, Chris.
Oh, hey, Phil.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
Okay, here's your Science Max lab coat.
Thank you.
So you guys at Logix Academy, you also build a vibrobot, right?
That's right, we do.
This is mine, and it works pretty well.
That's awesome.
So I want to max this out.
Cool.
So I thought we would start with, instead of this motor, we would start with this motor.
Wow.
It used to be a round circle, but I cut it off so that it's off-center.
Perfect.
I've also got, this is our battery.
Fantastic.
That's as far as I've gotten so far.
Well, it looks like we need a frame next.
Right, something to be the cup.
That's right.
So we just need some sort of larger cup.
Ooh, how about that metal shelf over there?
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
This is just something I keep my parts on.
It's perfect.
Really?
Yep, the shelves will house everything that we need, and it looks like it'll be strong enough to hold everything together.
Now, the vibrobot had markers on the bottom of it.
That's right.
To make a little pattern. Should we try that with this?
Because we're going bigger, what if we use paint and paintbrushes instead?
Okay, sure. We could attach paintbrushes to the legs. Pass me one. All right, so now all we need to do is get some paint and some paper.
That's right.
And we can fire it up. Okay, let's move it over this way.
Vibration and frequency. What's the difference? They're all connected. Ta-da! Now we get, whoa. Vibration is things going back and forth. Back and forth. And back and forth. It's a cycle. Cycle, 25 bucks. Oh yeah, it's the wrong kind of cycle. Never mind. Well, if that's vibration, then what's frequency? Well, frequency is a measure of how fast or slow, how frequent those vibrations happen. Look at this bowling ball. Look. It is swinging back and forth, but not very fast. You could say it has a low frequency. We measure all kinds of things by the frequency. This thing is terrifying. When you turn the dial on your radio, you're tuning in to different frequencies of radio waves. Hey, look at this punching balloon. It's going very fast. You could say it has a high frequency. So, now you know. Vibration is something going back and forth, and frequency is how quickly it does it. Ramona, the bowling ball keeps coming through everything. How do you turn it off? Okay, back to our main experiment. Chris and I are taking a vibrobot and maxing it out. We have a large motor and a battery, and we're taping it all to some shelving. Just like our small vibrobot, our motor needs something to make it unbalanced when it spins. That's what will cause the vibrations. It's just taped. I haven't attached it in any other way. Do you think that's okay?
As an engineer, I have superior faith in duct tape.
Okay, well, that's good to know. We're also adding an on-off switch and some paintbrushes on the bottoms of the legs so our maxed out vibrobot can make art just like the small one. The final step, dipping the brushes in paint and setting it on a big piece of paper. We fire it up and it immediately shakes everything off the shelves.
It totally spilled all the stuff on the shelves.
The motor shakes the vibrobot a lot. But there's a problem. All that shaking is starting to take its toll on the shelves. The wheels come off, the screws come out, and finally...
Whoa. It totally shook itself apart.
Destroyed itself.
The shelving unit just completely falls apart when it's being shaken.
Vibration is really hard on the structure of an object. We need something more sturdy, something that can take weight.
Steps, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this looks much better.
Okay, great. So we build the new vibrobot out of this. So more paintbrushes,
Bigger motor, more paint,
more everything.
more everything.
All right, good.
This is a pendulum. It's just a weight suspended on a line and anchored from above. Pretty simple. Pendulums were used for hundreds of years for all kinds of reasons, but most famously in clocks. Why were pendulums used in clocks? Well, here's why. Let's mark every time the pendulum hits the bottom of the swing, right here. Okay, watch. All right, now here's the question. How fast will the beeps be if I swing it from much higher up?
Let's find out.
No matter how high the pendulum swings, it keeps the same frequency. That's why they were used in clocks, because it could swing for a long while, and even though it would lose energy, it would still keep perfect time. The frequency of a pendulum doesn't change, no matter how high it swings or how much weight is on the bottom. The frequency comes from how long the line is.
Now this is a pendulum wave.
Because each bowling ball has a line that's a different length, they have a slightly different frequency. They start out swinging together, but soon they start to make interesting patterns. Remember, each pendulum is keeping its own perfect time, even if it's slowing down. It's only the length of the line that gives each pendulum a different frequency.
And now we're gonna max it out with well, I guess these are already bowling balls, so this is already pretty maxed out. I'm just gonna leave that there. These are balloons. This is a laser, and these are awesome laser safety glasses. Now, lasers are made of light, and light has a frequency. In fact, each color of light has a different frequency. This is a red laser. Check it out. Yeah, cool. This is also a very powerful laser. Oh, I can pop the blue balloon with the red laser because the blue absorbed the red light from the laser and then it heated up and the balloon popped. But here's the cool thing. I cannot pop a red balloon with a red laser because the red balloon reflects the red light from the red laser and I can't pop it. If I wanted to pop a balloon with a red laser, I need to use a darker balloon, one that absorbs the red light, like a black balloon. So there you go. Lasers, frequencies of light. I'm gonna keep this red balloon because it's always nice to have a balloon.
Chris and I are maxing out the VIBROBOT, but our last version shook itself apart. Now the plan is to start with something more solid and try again. We found some very solid steps and added an even bigger motor, an even bigger battery, and attached a half-circle wheel to make the vibrations when the motor spins. We add some paintbrushes and fire it up.
Here we go! Come on!
Go, VIBROBOT!
It wants to move.
Is it moving at all? So it's still not working. It's sort of getting caught in the paper and it's on the paintbrushes.
And the paintbrushes seem to be absorbing too much vibration, and then the paper's stopping it as well.
So why don't we remove the paintbrushes?
Yeah.
And we might as well remove the paper if we don't have any more paintbrushes.
Yes.
And we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Okay. No paintbrushes, no paper.
Okay.
Now let's try it. 3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah! Aha! It's moving. Not bad.
The shaking is good, but I don't know if the shaking is enough. So what do we do?
Well, we could add another battery.
Another battery which would give it more power?
That's right.
Okay, let's try that.
Okay.
Okay, so it wasn't working before.
No.
Not enough power. And now we've got a second battery here.
That's right. We've wired them up so that one power feeds into the other, so we've got twice as much juice as we did.
So it's just a matter of clipping this onto there.
That's right, but hold on.
Yeah, safety glasses, because now we don't know what's going to happen anymore. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The extra battery makes a big difference. The new VIBROBOT shakes around and only shakes itself apart a little. All right,
Whoa.
that was amazing. Okay, so all we needed was more power.
That's right. I think it didn't have enough power to vibrate up and down, and that's why it wasn't moving every time it hit the ground.
So I think if we're gonna use this much power, I think we need to build it again.
Okay.
Build it even stronger and with a bigger motor.
Yeah?
And more power. And then maybe I ride it. You think we can build that?
Of course.
Of course. Okay, let's do it. You want to see something cool? I can make this water levitate, defy gravity using the power of science. You want to see? Behold! Gravity-defying water. I can even make the water go very slowly. Or I can make the water go back up into the hose. Or I can make the water completely stop. You know what's interesting? The water does not seem to be stopped for me. You see stopped water because you are looking at it through a TV camera. See? Real life, TV camera. Real life, TV camera. You see, movie cameras and TV cameras take a whole bunch of still photos and then run them together really, really fast. 24 times a second for our TV cameras. I have created a device that drops water at 24 times a second, and what happens is everything lines up, so it looks like the water drops aren't moving. But watch this. I grab the hose and it's fine. But I let it go, and the hose is vibrating back and forth at exactly the same time the camera shutter is going back and forth, and everything looks like it's stopped. The power of frequency has defied gravity. Okay, so not really. It's kind of a camera trick, but I prefer to call it science. Here's a fun way to play with things going back and forth. This is Euler's disc, and it's designed to spin like this. What's going on is friction and gravity are slowing that down and pulling it towards the Earth. Now, you don't need a fancy disc like this to do this at home. All you need is a pot lid. Check it out. When the pot lid spins, friction and gravity start to slow it down, which means each spin gets lower and lower, and the frequency gets higher and higher. But the difference between a pot lid and Euler's disc is Euler's disc is made to go for as long as possible. The heavy puck has a slightly rounded edge and sits on a glass surface that is slightly concave, like a bowl. All of this is designed to make Euler's disc last a really long time, which is quite a while. But eventually, friction and gravity pull the disc down, and finally, it stops. Pretty amazing, right? Well, wait till we max it out. This is Trevor, head of the Science Max build team.
Hey.
Thanks for setting this up, Trevor. So what is this?
This is a giant side of a spool, big hydro spool.
Okay, so this is the largest disc that we could totally find, and we've got it all hooked up here. We lift it up, we spin it, and then you pull the thing and it will drop down and spin like a coin, because it's the only way we can do that with something this heavy.
Yeah.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Trevor and I hoist it up and get it suspended above the ground. Yeah. Then I start to wind it up. Ready? When it's going fast enough, and go, Trevor! Trevor pulls the release and it turns out a 200-kilogram spinning disc works exactly the same. As it spins and rolls, gravity and friction work on it, and the frequency speeds up as it gets closer to the ground until it stops. Giant Euler's disc. Nicely done, Trevor.
That was awesome.
That was great. Let's do it again.
All right.
Our VIBROBOT was working well, so that means it's time to make it way bigger. We started with a big metal table and added a huge motor, one 20 times as powerful as the last one. Instead of batteries giving us 12 volts of power, we're going to use a plug, which is 10 times more power. We've added an off-center wheel for vibration, bolted the motor to the frame, and added a protective cage all around to prevent anything from flying off. It even has a seat for me to ride.
Okay.
Okay?
You ready?
Ready?
Here we go.
We fire it up and it's very shaky. Oh, wow. Wow. That was really uncomfortable. It was like very bangy, even with the seat.
Yeah?
I'm gonna try standing on it.
All right.
When I try standing on it, the VIBROBOT lives up to its name. It vibrates all around the lab. Ow! My legs are numb to the knee.
I'm not surprised.
VIBROBOTS!
All right.
Yeah, that worked really well.
That was awesome.
I really can't feel my feet right now. And it held together, which is impressive.
That's right. The more power and the stronger structure paid off.
Yeah, the only thing I regret is not getting a chance to... Wait a minute, come with me! Okay, so I achieved my dream of riding the VIBROBOT.
You did.
But we never got a chance to make art, so we've dipped a whole bunch of nuts and bolts and heavy things in paint.
Yep.
And now we're gonna turn on the VIBROBOT and see if we can make some art. Let's see how it looks.
Oh, wow.
Ta-da! VIBROBOT art. VIBROBOT has been a huge success, and we've got some art to keep. High fives. Well done. Science Max, experiments at large. Who gets to keep the art?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, tie. 1, 2, 3. Tie. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow. 1, 2, 3. Ah, tie. 1, 2, 3. Man. 3, 2, 1. We're really under pressure during this episode of Science Max. Compressing a gas till it's pressurized is how we can do this, and to a lesser degree, this.
Help, I'm being crushed by all this pressure.
Pressure, today on Science Max Experiments at Large. Phil to Mission Control. Come in, Mission Control. This is Mission Control, Phil. We read you loud and clear. Greetings, Science! Greetings, Science Maximites! Welcome to Science Max Experiments at Large. My name is Phil McCordick, and today we're gonna be building an air-powered rocket. Too difficult, you say? Nonsense, it's easy. It's not like it's rocket science. Hey, it is rocket science. Cool! Here's what you need. You need a bottle and a cork. Make sure that the cork fits nicely into the bottle, and then you need an air pump, because you can't have an air-powered rocket without air. And on this air pump, you need a pin, the special kind that you use to inflate basketballs or volleyballs or stuff like that. Now, what you want to do is push the pin through the cork. You might want an adult's help for this. Push it through until it goes through on the other side, and then make sure you get a good seal with the bottle. Now you're ready to launch your rocket with air pressure. But first, let's do a few other things. Take your cork and put it in a tripod launcher. You can make this out of pencils or anything you want, as long as it stands up nice and solidly. And then, of course, you want to decorate your bottle so it looks like a rocket. This is my rocket. Pretty good, right? So stick the bottle on the cork like before, like that. And then you stick the pin in the bottom. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna inflate the bottle with air pressure, and then it's gonna launch. Okay, here we go. You know, rocketry really isn't something you should do indoors. Come on. This was supposed to be a field. What's going? Why are there? Oh, it's in my shoe. Oh, this will do nicely. Now, don't forget to do this with an adult, and don't forget your safety glasses. Now set up the rocket in a nice big open area, and make sure it's pointed away from you. And then what you do is you pump the air pump. And it puts air into the rocket, which pushes down on the water, which will push down on the cork, until eventually... So, be Science Maximites and come up with your own rocket design. Try different amounts of water, different fins, even a different size bottle. Try it for yourself and see if you can get one that goes higher than mine just did. How did I get in? I think it was this way. Do you want step-by-step directions on how to build your own air-powered rocket? Well, don't worry. Everything you need is on our website. Now it is time to max out our air-powered rocket. I've got Adam here. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Adam's from Logix Academy, and you guys go into schools and talk about science.
We do.
Fantastic. Do you guys do a air-powered rocket?
Yes, exactly.
Does it look like this one?
Looks exactly like that.
Oh, that's great. So how do we max this out?
So we want to add more pressure to this bottle to try to get it to launch a little bit higher.
More air.
More air.
Great, so what do we do?
So we're gonna use one of these.
Ooh.
It's the air compressor.
Right, which works a lot like the bike pump, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So we're gonna have compressed air coming from here through this tube into underneath here.
Yeah.
And out that nozzle there, and you're going to put your bottle on top.
And out the nozzle
like
into
that.
the bottle, like that.
Yep, and now we want to be able to hold it in place. So we're gonna have these little fingers here that are actually gonna work to hold it until we want to let it go. So we're gonna lock it in place.
Oh yeah, look at that. Totally locked.
Exactly.
And then what? How do we launch
Now,
it?
you're gonna take this cord and go a safe distance away, and we are going to pull it.
And then we would pull it. Which one do you want to start with?
I think we should use this one here.
Okay, great. Now we put water in it, right?
Yep, you're gonna put water in there.
Why do we use water?
So the water is gonna act to push the rocket up into the air. The compressed air in here is gonna shoot the water out the back, and the water is gonna push on the rocket and make it launch. It's just to give it a little extra push.
How do I get it on there without spilling any water?
So just rest it next to the
Just go
launcher
fast?
there. Yeah, just go really fast.
Ooh.
There you go.
There we
Raise
go.
A little bit.
Haha. And then
Lock it in place.
locking it in place. There's no
Okay.
air pressure in the hose yet, right?
Not yet, no.
First, we have to spool out the launch cord. So the air compressor has the compressed air in it. It's ready to go.
Yep, it's all ready to go. We just need to connect the hoses.
Adam, I've noticed it's snowing a little bit. Do you think that's any reason why we should stop?
I don't think so.
No, the science must go on. Blast shields down. Connecting hoses.
When we connect the air hose, the pressure from the compressor travels down the line and into the bottle. You can see the bubbles of air going in. Those bubbles are carrying more air into the bottle, giving it more pressure.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, there's the rocket. Let's do it again. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Woo! Nice. Success.
Success.
Nice. So, small bottle, worked really well. How do we make it bigger? I know, bigger nose cone?
I think a bigger bottle.
Oh, bigger bottle, yeah, of course, that's easy. How about this empty water bottle that we have now?
That might work, except that the top here is too big. I don't think it'll fit on our launcher.
Oh yeah, so what should we use?
A 2-liter pop bottle might work a bit better because it'll be about the same size.
Oh, that's right, 2-liter pop bottles have the same opening as these small water bottles.
Exactly.
That's great. All right, let's make a couple rockets out of 2-liter pop bottles.
Awesome.
Pressure happens when you squeeze something or compress it. Solids do not compress very well. I will demonstrate. Solid? Is it compressing? No, okay. Liquids don't compress very well either. You can demonstrate this for yourself by getting a plastic water bottle and filling it right to the very top with water and putting on the cap and squeezing. You'll find that you can't really squeeze the bottle very much. But if you empty out half of the water, no, don't pour it on the floor, and then put the cap back on the bottle and try to squeeze it, you'll find that you can squeeze it a lot more. That's because gases compress much easier than solids or liquids. Here's what's going on. Say this container is, well, any container, and these magnets are air molecules. Now I'm gonna put the magnets in pole to pole so they repel each other and wanna stay a certain distance apart, just like air molecules do. There we go, a container at normal gas pressure. Now watch what happens when I add more gas molecules. They start to get squeezed together. And if I add more, the amount of space that each one gets is less and less. Now this container is under a lot of pressure. These molecules really want to escape through the top of the container, but they can't because I'm holding them down. If I took something like this plunger and I pushed them down even more, now they're really under pressure. They want to get out, but they can't because I'm holding them in. Now watch what happens when I let them go. They all
pop out the top, and the container has returned to normal gas pressure. That's what happens when we put gas in a container like this one. These containers that hold compressed gas are made out of solid steel because you need something really strong or it might explode if you put too much gas pressure in it. That's why these are only filled up by professionals who know exactly how much pressure it can take. That is the power of pressure.
Our air-powered rocket was working pretty well, but there's always room to max it out. In order to do that, we need to understand how it works. First, we fill the bottle almost halfway with water, then we add air to the bottle. The air pressure builds up, and the air presses down on the water. The rocket takes off when we pull on the release valve, which was blocking the opening of the bottle. Once that happens, the air pushes out the water. It's the water that gives us our thrust, so the water is very important. Once all the water is gone, the air escapes and the bottle returns to normal air pressure. But by that time, it's high in the sky. Now the plan is to use 2-liter bottles instead of regular water bottles to see if they work better.
Now we've made a few more rockets out of 2-liter bottles, and I'm gonna fill this one up with water, and we're going to fire it again and see what happens. Now, the idea is that these will work better because they have more volume, and more volume means we could possibly put more air pressure in. It's hard to know until you try it, of course. But the other reason why it might work better is 2-liter bottles generally hold carbonated beverages, which means they already have to be made a little stronger than regular water bottles because they have to hold in the carbonation, which is just like air pressure. All right, ready to go. Okay, here we go. You ready, Adam?
Yep.
Okay, blast shield down. Pressurize! 3, 2, 1. Let's do another one. And 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Wow! This is the superhero design rocket, which I'm very excited about. All right, Adam, it's going really well. But before we fire this next one, how can we make it bigger, better, and more awesome?
Get more pressure.
More pressure. How do we do that?
Well, we're firing at about 90 PSI right now.
PSI, pounds per square inch of pressure, right?
Yep. So we could increase it.
We could increase it. So we're at 90 now. How high does the tank go?
Go to about 120.
120 PSI. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. 90, 110, 120. Should we fire it?
Let's fire it.
Let's fire it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Hey, actually, it worked okay. There's just a piece missing here, but I think the bottle is still okay.
Yeah.
So, 2-liter bottle, full pressure. I think we can still make something even better, even more maxed out. What if we used an even bigger bottle? You know the 5-liter ones that you see on a water cooler?
Yeah.
You think we can use one of those?
Definitely. I think we could use that. We need to change the mouthpiece size
Yes.
to fit our launchers.
Well, let's do it.
Do it.
Help, I'm being crushed by all this pressure. A whole kilogram is being pushed down on every square centimeter of my body. 103 kilopascals. Actually, 1 kilogram for every square centimeter on your body is the exact kind of pressure that you and I are under at all times every day. We don't notice it because we're used to it, but it sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Well, it is. Here's an experiment you can do with a plastic bottle. Say at room temperature, there are 10 million air molecules in here. Doesn't really matter how many, but we'll say there's 10 million at normal room temperature. What happens if I heat up the air inside this bottle? This is warm water. What I'm trying to do is heat up the air inside the bottle because the air molecules, when they get hotter, move faster and need more room. So the 10 million air molecules are starting to escape out the mouth of the bottle and reducing the number of air molecules inside. And now I take the bottle out and cap it. Because the air molecules heated up and speeded up, they needed more room. Now there's less of them in the bottle. There's about 4 million air molecules inside this bottle, but they're all hot air molecules and they have a higher pressure, and you don't notice it because the air out here isn't crushing the bottle. But watch what happens if I cool the air inside the bottle. This is ice water. So what's happening now is the molecules are slowing down and they need less space. So they need less room and they're being crushed by the pressure on the outside of the bottle. It has been crushed because the colder air molecules don't need the same kind of room as the hot air molecules. The room temperature air has crushed the bottle. The air inside has a lower pressure than the air outside. Pretty amazing. Even more amazing when we max it out. This is a steel drum. What we've done is we put some water in it and we're heating it up to boiling so there's nothing but hot air inside the drum. This is an airtight cap, which we use to seal the drum. And now we cool the drum off. Hey, Trevor, give me a hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3, you lift! That's good. This pool is filled with ice. What we're doing now is cooling off the steel drum, which will cool off the air inside it. Which means, eventually, the air inside the steel drum will be a much lower pressure than the air outside the steel drum.
Because the steel drum has a lot more volume than a 2-liter pop bottle, it takes a lot longer for the air to cool down. The other thing to think about is that it's a steel drum. I could stand on it and it wouldn't even dent. But sure enough, after a few minutes...
Whoa! Check it out! The barrel has totally crushed. The low pressure air inside the barrel wasn't enough to withstand the force of the regular air pressure that you and I walk through every day. The air pressure all around us is enough to crush a steel drum. How cool is that?
Our air-powered rockets have been working really well, but we still want to go further. Since the 2-liter bottle worked better than the water bottle, we think increasing the size again might make it more awesome. So now the plan is to switch our 2-liter bottle with a 20-liter water cooler jug and make a rocket out of that. Because the launcher nozzle, which holds the bottle in place till we're ready to launch it, isn't going to fit the opening of this bigger jug, we've decided to use the cap that came with the jug. If we screw the cap on, it'll work sort of like the cork. The air pressure will press down on the water and keep pushing against the cap until the cap has a catastrophic failure, which is a very cool way of saying that eventually the cap will break and the bottle will shoot into the sky.
20-liter water cooler jug filled with some water. This is the cap that'll work sort of like the cork. We put the air pressure in there, the cap can't take it anymore, pops off, and the thing flies, hopefully. Let's find out. Okay, that looks good. There. Let's do this. Go for pressure! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Hilarious! That worked pretty well. It sort of does that. I wonder if it's aerodynamic.
No.
No. So, what else can we do to make it even more maxed out?
I think we've used the 2-liter bottles. It worked really well.
The 2-liter bottles are the best, right?
I think so.
So, what do we do?
We can probably stack them. We stack them on top of each other.
Yeah.
That worked.
I like that. So we put a whole bunch of them together.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll do you one better. Why don't we use 3 stacks?
Awesome.
We'll use 3 stacks, 3 launchers, 3 times the thrust, and we'll make a giant rocket out of 2-liter bottle.
Yeah, great idea.
High fives. Here we go. Gas molecules get further apart when you warm them up and closer together when you cool them down. So what happens if you keep cooling them down? Well, they turn into this. This is liquid nitrogen. Nitrogen makes up 78% of the air we breathe, but when you cool it down to minus 196 degrees Celsius, it turns into a liquid. It's boiling right now because at room temperature, nitrogen wants to be a gas. So the liquid nitrogen is turning into gaseous nitrogen,
and all of the extra molecules are escaping through the top of the bottle. So what happens if I put a cap on the bottle? Right now, the liquid nitrogen is turning back into a gas, but because there's a cap on the bottle, the gas has nowhere to go. So the pressure is just gonna keep building and building until the plastic bottle can't contain it anymore, and it pops like a balloon. Science!
Our rockets have gone from small to bigger to even bigger. Now the plan is to use 3 2-liter bottles and create columns of them into a giant rocket. We pressurize them just like we did before, but with more thrust, it might work even better. Even if it doesn't work better, I'm pretty excited about this new plan.
Giant rocket. Giant rocket. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, blast shields down. Connecting hose. Dialing up pressure. Pressure is rising. It's bubbling. Bubbling. 100 PSI. Okay, stand by to fire. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Woo! Awesome! Yeah, let's go check it out. Well, there you have it. Rocket Science Max. Experiments at large. Well done. Nicely done. Do you think we could fire it again?
Yeah, it looks like it needs some repairs, though.